Guys, it is here. We are finally going to do my week one power rankings for the NFL season. I'm so excited for the NFL season to officially start with the regular season. I cannot be more excited. I actually could be more excited because I have college basketball practice and Thursday night from 7 to 9 when I could be watching the Chiefs and Lions game. So, a little disappointed in that, but I'll just record the video and watch the game later. It should be okay, right? Hopefully. Let's get started here. Number 32 of the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think anything has to be said here. Everybody knows the Cardinals just plain out suck. So, yeah. Number 31 is the Houston Texans. Their roster also is not great. CJ Stroud is a starting quarterback. I do like CJ Stroud. I just don't think he's going to be doing a lot for the Houston Texans this season. Number 30 is the Indianapolis Colts. They also have a rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson, starting. If Jonathan Taylor was actually playing or something, maybe they'd be a little higher. But we don't even know if he's going to be on the team. He's already out for the first 4 games. He might get traded after that, or he might just sit out because he doesn't like the team. So the Colts are not in a good spot right now. Number 29 is the Buccaneers. They are not a great team either. They have Baker Mayfield as their quarterback. Yuck. They have a couple good players in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but that's really about it. And yeah, Baker Mayfield is not the quarterback you want when you have 2 good wide receivers on your team. Number 28 is the Los Angeles Rams. So this team, if healthy, could be better than they are, but they really only have 3 real players in Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Donald. After that, their team is just buns. Their roster is just not good. But if Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Donald are healthy and play all the games all season, the Rams could win 7 or 8 games max. So that's not great. So I don't think they're going to be a very good team. Number 27, the Las Vegas Raiders. So I think the Raiders don't absolutely suck, but I don't really think they're going to be a great team this year. Partly because, Jimmy Garoppolo was a good quarterback in San Francisco. He's going to be a worse quarterback now that he's not in Kyle Shanahan's system, right? Yeah, that's the Raiders just aren't the best, most talented team in the league. Number 26, the New England Patriots. They're not the most talented team in the league either, but they did sign Ezekiel Elliott, which doesn't really help them. Does not really help them a lot, but I think it helps them barely surpass the Raiders. That's about all I gotta say. Mac Jones, I really hope Mac Jones can get back to his rookie year self and not whatever last year was. Matt Patricia was not helping anything. Number 25 is the Chicago Bears. So they should be a little better than last year, right? With DJ Moore and all that stuff. And Justin Fields should be taking a big step up this year, so I expect the Bears to be a little bit better than last year, but not too much. Still 25th best team in the league. That's not great. Number 24 is the Tennessee Titans. This team is not a great team. Tennessee Titans they're not a horrible team. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is their quarterback. I don't think he's going to be their quarterback all year. I think Malik Willis and Will Levis will definitely get a chance to play quarterback this year. They have Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins. But I really don't think that matters that much. They're still not a very good team. Number 23 is the Carolina Panthers. So they're a decent team last year. Now they have Bryce Young, but they're probably still just going to be a decent team. 23rd best team in the league. That's still the bottom 10 in the league. That's still not good. So yeah, Carolina. I think Bryce Young can be good for you for the future, but rookie season Bryce Young is not going to lead you to much success. Number 22 is the Green Bay Packers. So I think Jordan Love should have a better year this year. A good year this year. He didn't really have any year last year. But I think Jordan Love should have a good year this year. Christian Watson should be much improved. So I think the Packers have a decent season this season. Yeah. Number 21 is the New Orleans Saints. I mean, this team has good players in Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, but it's just with Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, you don't know how much games they're going to play. That's the big issue. If I knew that both those guys would be healthy all season long, I'd have the Saints a little bit higher. But with their injury history and stuff, I have to put them about this low. Number 20 is the Atlanta Falcons. I do like this team. I do like Desmond Ritter at quarterback. I think Desmond Ritter will be improved from last year, right? I think Jake London will be improved from last year. I hope Kyle Pitts is improved from last year, but no promises there. The Falcons defense is actually one of like a really good defense in the league. No one talks about that enough. But yeah, I think they should be a pretty solid team this year, I'd say. Number 19, the Washington Commanders. So the Commanders, I do like Sam Howell. I really think Sam Howell will be a good quarterback for this team this season. Not great, not really good, but like decent. Like he'll be an all right quarterback. No one's gonna be mad that Sam Howell is their starting quarterback. It's not much of a downgrade from their quarterbacks of the past, like Taylor Heineke. He's about the same level as that. So no one was mad about Taylor Heineke. Number 18 is the New York Giants. Number 18 is a little bit lower than they were last year. They were a playoff team last year, right? So how are they 18 after adding like Darren Waller and stuff like that? Well, part of it, just because I think a lot of other teams have gotten better this offseason in a lot better ways than just adding Darren Waller and stuff. So I think the Giants could be good, but right now I have them mid-tier team. Number 17, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are always going to be around this mediocre stage of, 17th best team in the league, right? For the foreseeable future, I don't see them getting much past that. I do like Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. I think they should have a way better connection this year, but it's going to project them to right about 9 wins and about the middle team in the league like last year. Number 16, Denver Broncos. So they should be better than they were last year, right? With Sean Payton a head coach. That's only the notable change, and they added Frank Clark to defense. So they should be a better team this year than last year. But if Sean Payton does not work his magic with Russell Wilson, then this team will be back in like the 24-25 range, which is not ideal for a Broncos fan. Number 15 is the Minnesota Vikings. So Kirk Cousins, he's good, right? The Vikings were a way better team than 15th last year, but that's just because they got lucky a lot of times in their one-possession games that they won. Like, no one wins all their one-possession games. That just doesn't happen. They got lucky. So I don't think they get as lucky this year. Therefore, I think they're going to be closer to the middle of the pack team. Number 14 is the Cleveland Browns. I think they have one of the best defenses in the league. I think Deshaun Watson will be much improved this year. Elijah Moore is going to be a big part of that, along with Donovan Peoples-Jones. He has a good receiving core this year, and he should have a whole year to prepare for this. So the Browns should be a better team this year than last year. Number 13 is the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks offense is pretty good. Their defense is also pretty solid, but I don't know. The Seahawks are actually, I think, a pretty balanced team, offensively and defensively. They're both pretty solid, but not too great at anything. Number 12 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. This team's record, that I think they will have, definitely projects them to be better than the number 12 team in the league, but that's just because their schedule is so easy. I think that a lot of the teams above the Jags are just better. The Jags offense should be good. Their defense isn't much to acknowledge, honestly. But their offense should be really fun this year. Number 11 is the Detroit Lions. They're like the best scoring offense in the league last year. I don't expect much worse from them this season. Maybe a little bit worse because they don't have Jamal Williams, who is a big part of that. But they replaced him with Jahmyr Gibbs, honestly, so that could be a W in my book. Their defense should also be improved this season. Number 10 is the Miami Dolphins. So, their offense is one of the best offenses in the league, right? Everyone knows that. Their defense is, it's solid. It'd be better if Jalen Ramsey was playing before week 13 of the season. But I think 10 is a fair spot for them. Number 9 is Baltimore Ravens. So their offense is, their offense is good. The defense is good. They're not amazing at anything, but I think they're a pretty solid team, for sure. Definitely a good, really good team this season. Number 8, I have the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't really like putting the Cowboys this high, but it's kind of hard not to. They are one of the better teams on paper in the league for sure. They were one of the best teams on paper in the league last year. Then they add Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. So it's kind of hard not to put the Cowboys this high.
Number 7 is the Los Angeles Chargers. Now I know that Brandon Staley is still the head coach of this team. That is a problem. But on paper, the Chargers are an amazing team, and I think Justin Herbert has the ability to lead this team farther than Brandon Staley can take them, if you know what I'm talking about. So Brandon Staley should be fired. But that's besides the point. The Chargers are one of the best teams in the league this season, for sure. Number 6, I have the New York Jets. So the Jets had one of the best defenses in the league last year, and I do not expect that to change this season. But also, on offense, they had one of the worst offenses last season, but now they have Aaron Rodgers, and they have a whole new receiving core besides, keeping Garrett Wilson. And they have Dalvin Cook. So this Jets team should be one of the best teams in the NFL. If they are not, this is a major disappointment. Number 5 is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're one of the better teams in the league. Their offense is absolutely insane. Their defense is pretty solid, but their defense definitely could be better. But their offense is insane. Everybody knows that. Number 4 is the Buffalo Bills. So their defense and offense are both pretty solid. They're actually both really good. The Bills are struggling slightly because Von Miller is going to be out for the first 4 games of the season, but I mean they should still be fine. The Bills are still a very good team, both offensively and defensively. Number 3, I have the 49ers. I think the Niners have the best defense in the entire league. I think their offense is obviously one of the better ones in the entire league as well, lacking quarterback. But Brock Purdy isn't a bad quarterback, but I would really have liked to see what Trey Lance could have done in this offense for a whole season. But I guess we're never going to see that now. Number 2, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think they did take a significant step back from last year because they lost half of their defensive players from last year. They lost, and they replaced those guys mostly with draftees, which is not exactly the best way to replace your old veteran guys that have been performing very well, because the rookies might not perform very well right away. But they still have one of the best offenses and defenses in the league. So number 2 seems like a fair spot to them. At this point, we should all know what number 1 is. The Kansas City Chiefs. They have the best offense in the league. They're the best player in the league. The best tight end in the league. What's really going to hurt them is if Chris Jones decides to hold out for a long period of time. Then they could definitely fall a couple spots in this ranking because Chris Jones is one of the main components of their defense. And he's not even on the team right now. Technically, he's holding out. So we'll see what happens there. But as of right now, I still have the Chiefs as the number 1 team in the NFL. So thank you for watching. Oh, shoot, I forgot about this. This is my game picks for this week. This is something new we're trying out. So for this week, I have the Chiefs beating the Lions. I have the Vikings beating the Bucks. I have the Niners beating the Steelers. I have the Ravens beating the Texans. I have the Saints beating the Titans. I have the Jags beating the Colts. I have the Bengals beating the Browns. I have the Commanders beating the Cardinals. I have the Falcons beating the Panthers. I have the Bears beating the Packers. I have the Eagles beating the Patriots. I got the Dolphins beating the Chargers. I got the Seahawks beating the Rams. The Broncos beating the Raiders. The Cowboys beating the Jets. The Cowboys beating the Giants, and the Jets beating the Bills. My lock of the week is the Ravens over the Texans. That shouldn't be too difficult. The Ravens should steamroll the Texans with ease. My upset of the week. Now, an upset is determined by the odds based off of DraftKings. So if DraftKings says that this team is favored to win that game, they are obviously not the underdog, right? The other team would be the underdog, which means that I would have to pick the underdog for there to be an upset, right? Which this week, the underdog that I picked was the Dolphins over the Chargers. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm going to keep my score of my game picks set up here. I'm going to keep that posted every single week and see how I do. But yeah, that does make it for my video. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to check out the other videos I've made this week. Let me know if you like this format better as opposed to my original power ranking format with just the video and music, yeah, watch my other videos and make sure to check back next week for an updated power rankings list.